Right. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Intelligent Psycho back here with another live. So this time I'm gonna be talking about the movie review for. I'm gonna do three things. I'm gonna talk about the movie review for Rule Breakers, Davante Adams' recent signing, and more TV related news. But first off, I'm gonna talk about the movie Rule Breakers. So this is a foreign. This is a foreign film, but language and English as well. So it's a story in a nation of educated girls seen as a rebellion. Visionary woman dares to teach young minds to dream. When their innovation draws global attention, their success sparks hope and opposition. As threats loom, their courage ignites a movement. So the story is directed by Bill Gutentag, and it stars this person as the coach, um, Nicole Boucherie, who plays the one of the trainers called Roya, and Roya and her team of and her partners run this or teaching this in Afghanistan. They teaches this mathematical course and computer programming, and they are training these group of four young girls who basically are trying to get into a program for the robotics team. And based on the true story, the whole movie centers around four girls who make it a worldwide competition in Washington and all other countries, despite the odds, all come welcoming odds. So the Underdogs sports drama is a wholesome twist, and Rule Breakers is a movie based on experiences of Afghanistan's first competitive robotics team. It's the story of hardening first Royal Mambo, who spearheaded the initiative for schoolgirls, is the first woman to own each tech company in Afghanistan, and director Bill Gutentag and his cast get the can-do spirit of its core, and as well as the societal constructions that make to such a preservance, especially as expressive and yet a story that could have been told in more cohesion in society. And in this movie, Roya and Afghanistan dreamers of schoolgirls from the school called Harriet Providence, Amber, Tara, Haida, and Arezzo, with Roya's brother Ali. And as the coach, the team weathers a series of setbacks and breakthroughs, and getting their first match in Washington involves considerable bureaucratic red tape that leaves them in a ridiculously short window of time. Build their robot, and challenging journey becomes international news. Back home, the girls' fame draws the wrath of the Taliban. Undaunted by threats and slurs, their presses on. The return to the competition circuit, captured in music-filled montages that feel like raves for science geeks with high-spirited turn from Phoebe Waller-Bridge as an MC and an event judge. So yeah, Roya and her partners were training these young school girls who are trying to live out and accomplish, as Afghanistan dreams, as schoolgirls to try to compete on a robotics team as a competition. Throughout, they go through several countries. They go through cities and places in Washington. And as they go along this journey, a lot of trouble and awakening erased it because of the fact that they had, did not have their like visas and like, passports, like, they couldn't get it in time, and it wasn't they was rejected by the U.S. government, and so the U.S. government tried to foil their plans of not competing on the robotics team tournament, and so they went through so many great lengths to try to override and overstride that momentum at the end of the day, and it kind of made it to the point where it was such a difficult challenge, but by the end of the day, they end up fighting, they end up conquering and accomplishing what they set out for. Roya and her partners, she ends up getting a fair chance and a fair shot at a job in America and the U.S. and also in Europe, while these girls end up graduating. Tara, Haida, Arezzo, they end up all going further in launching their careers on the robotics team, and they end up going further and further to launch their careers in imagery. So Yeah, what a really good story for this one, man. They really shot gave a powerful moment, and it kind of just shows you the systemic oppression and the systemic and prejudice and credulous and overall racial epithets and apartheid that's going on in the U.S. as we see it as far as going on in today's climate. And I really appreciate how they tackle some heavy topics and heavy subjects, along with um, looking at a way of just showing that no matter what, and of course, it's a lot of mass devastations. It was a complete bombing of Jadawa, another country that was inside of Afghanistan, that really was, and one of the fathers of the schoolgirls end up, getting uh, tragically killed and died in the bombing as well, which was absolutely horrible and um, traumatic to even see and witness. But what a really powerful movie and a powerful story. And I appreciate what was going on as far as like really giving us a clear cut imagery of just how much the American system and colonizing is so colonized, so effed up. And it really gives us a tale of what's going on in other countries and how they treat their women and how women are being mistreated, mischaracterized, and misjudged over there, and looking for a way of just trying to um, show how they should be vying, how their dreams and their goals and way their destination should be very important. I'll read more. But beyond the celebratory energy is more urgent. The teenagers commit to cooperation and connectedness in a world that's too often defined by war. In Afghanistan's case, a long history of occupation. And in the movie's searing moment, the Afghan dreamers begin explaining the landmine detector they built, an antidote to the horror living in a place filled with unexploded ordnance. And a girl in the Vietnamese team listens. My country too, she says. And that is pretty much what I'm gonna read from that. But yeah, man, I would definitely suggest checking out this movie, Rule Breakers, man. It is definitely something that I saw on the radar, and I was like, you know what, I really was looking forward to what was going on. True story and based on true events, man. And kind of if you are really into like, films that are like coinciding into like based on coming of age, based on true events, if you are into those kind of movies, I would say really give this one a watch. Check this one out. I give this a 3.5 out of 4 stars, really. And I would definitely recommend this to many folks who are movie fans. You definitely will enjoy this one. um in light of other news I just read upon, so getting to this story that I just saw. So Davante Adams, and this is the second story I wanted to talk about. So Davante Adams signed a 2-year, $46 million deal with the LA Rams. So Davante Adams heading to Southern California. The star receiver is inking on a 2-year contract worth $46 million and a $26 million guarantee, as the NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported per sources informed the situation. Adams arrives in LA as the Rams are prepared to part ways with the former Triple Crown runner Cooper Kupp. And Adams spent 11 games with the New York Jets after a 2024 midseason trade from the Las Vegas Raiders. And New York shipped a conditional third-round pick to Vegas for Adams in mid-October. And in 14 total games last season in Vegas and New York, Adams caught 85 passes for 1,063 yards and 8 touchdowns. And the Jets hoped in the reunion with Aaron Rodgers would jumpstart a struggling club. However, the duo was inconsistent, taking 114 targets in New York for Adams to earn 67 grabs for 854 yards and 7 touchdowns. And Adams isn't a speedster, something LA, the LA offense lacks outside of the re-sign Tutu Atwell. But he can still win off the line of scrimmage as well as any wideout in the NFL, and he's a route running acumen that should allow a 32-year-old to age gracefully. Excuse me. Matthew Stafford faced off against Adams for years in the NFC North. Now the two will pair up in Sean McVay's offense for the NFC West, and Adams' ability to be in the right spot and beat man coverage should be a boon to Stafford. Pairing Adams with Puka Nacua gives Stafford two big bodies and who can make contested catches. And the addition also makes LA much more of a threat in the red zone in 2025. Adams wanted to move back into the West Coast to earn a $20 million per year with the Rams, and the veteran accomplished both those goals. So yeah, I wanted to know what you guys think about this as I saw this heading on my timeline, right? Yeah, so man, I was not seeing this move happening, but I'm glad hopefully for Davante Adams. I'm glad to see him kind of like going back to the West Coast, coming back to the NFC actually, but specifically on the West Coast and playing for the LA Rams gives Matthew Stafford another receiver threat to play with at the end of the day, and we're gonna have the chance to see what could be the layout and what could be the format for them at the end of the day. So we got so much going on in the NFL, and I think that this would be a huge way of kind of like really showing that Rams offense still, although they was lacking speed a little bit and playmaking ability from the last go around in the postseason, they wasn't really getting as much explosive plays as I would have liked and hoped to imagine towards the tail end of the season this past regular season. So I really do like the fact that we're getting a chance to be dynamic more in that stretch in time, and I feel like for Davante Adams, it's another new look for him, and it's gonna be an upstart and try to get a chance to compete for the championship because the Rams were kind of getting there, or they was knocking at the door. They got a young core, a young defense, a young offense, a new revamped offensive line. And Adams can break away and get it in separation. He's only 32 years old, so we got a lot of time still left. And a veteran, savvy, aging quarterback in Stafford is still going to need some kind of help. So I think that would be beneficiary to him. And kind of is losing Cooper Kupp, yeah, that does hurt a little bit, former Mr. Triple Crown winner, but I think they'll be okay now. But as far as the Jets is concerned, they are a discombobulated mess. So it doesn't really say much about them. So they're going to be pretty much on the outskirts trying to be somebody that's going to look in between the lines. So I don't know what's gonna be looking for them. But Adams needs to get himself back on track, and I think that this will be the right scenario for him. So those are my thoughts for that part. Let me see if there is anything else. Oh yeah. Here's some NFL news and related roundup that I want to also talk about as well. That I didn't mention in my title. So the NFL news roundup. So the Cardinals linebacker Baron Browning agreed to a 2-year, $15 million deal, and my Detroit Lions released defensive end Zadarius Smith, and also they extended Derek Barnes' contract for the Lions, a 3-year, $21 million deal. But I'll talk about this also. So linebacker Baron Browning signed with the Cardinals a 2-year, $15 million deal with the max value of $19 million. NFL Insider Ian Rappaport reported the team has since announced the move. The Atlanta Falcons has signed offensive tackle Jake Matthews, agreed to terms to 2-year, $45 million extension with $38 million guaranteed for the next 2 seasons, according to Mike Garofalo. And the Buffalo Bills have released Von Miller As the NFL insider Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported, both sides are open to return. Insiders added the team has since announced the move, and Josh Allen has signed a 6-year, $330 million deal, which includes $250 million guaranteed. The NFL insider Ian Rappaport reported. And the Cincinnati Bengals offensive lineman Cody Ford re-signing with the Bengals for a 2-year deal. And now the Cleveland Browns defensive end Myles Garrett agrees to terms on a 4-year extension worth $40 million contract per year to stay with the Browns as the highest paid non-quarterback in the league, as Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero reported on the extension. The Kansas City Chiefs and linebacker Nick Bolton agreed to a 3-year, $45 million contract extension worth $30 million guaranteed. And other related news is the San Francisco 49ers, Malik Collins, is being released in a move that will save $10 million on the salary cap. And another big news for the Seattle Seahawks. So this is interesting as well. So wide receiver DK Metcalf has been traded to the Steelers in exchange for a 2025 second-round pick. The NFL Network insiders Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport reported, as also defensive end Jarran Reed has agreed to a 3-year extension worth up to $25 million. And linebacker Ernest Jones has agreed to a 3-year, $33 million extension with the Seahawks. My thoughts about DK Metcalf, however, being traded is like, man, I mean, what was you expecting with that scenario and route? I was not. What the heck was that? Oh, hold on, guys. Oh, shit. Anyways, got distracted, guys. My bad. So, DK Metcalf traded to the Steelers. My thoughts about that was just like, man, that's a good move for the Steelers. I guess, that can give them another dynamic presence as far as like big receiver, because he's 6'7", 240, 245. And that could really give a dynamic presence down the field, downward field threat, because that's what the Steelers was missing at the receiving core, guys that wasn't getting down the field and making big plays, splash plays. Somebody that didn't really gives them another option, because Pickens, Mike Williams, nice addition, but again, there wasn't enough explosiveness. It wasn't enough down the field threat presence, and it wasn't enough to carry him over the top. And to me, just the quarterback play from Russell Wilson, and early on Justin Fields was okay, but Russell Wilson looked like he was going to take strides and take the right amount and go into the different direction, but just overall, he did not, to me, put it together enough for the Steelers to really push it over the top. But I think with the addition now of DK Metcalf, it's going to be very, very interesting. And it's going to be a very interesting look for them. Hopefully it pushes them a little bit further as far as, the receiving core and making deep ball plays, take the pressure. If George Pickens does decide to stay, which I believe we probably will, stay with them along with Mike Williams, take the pressure off of George Pickens and Mike Williams. They can take the pressure off of George Pickens and Mike Williams. They can take the pressure off of George Pickens and Mike Williams. And to me, it pretty much is going to make it to the standpoint of like, yeah, it gives them another dynamic presence. And signing Jarran Reed and Ernest Jones was huge for them. It can actually push them further with their defense and make them a bit better, and make them a notch level above heads water. And I really do think that they're going to be a team defensively that you don't want to sleep on. You don't want to sleep on at the end of the day. And as far as the Seahawks, they're kind of looking to I've seen that they also thinking about Mike letting go. I don't know if this is true or not. Might be letting go of Tyler Lockett as well. I don't know. And then also, I think Geno Smith just got signed by the traded from the Seattle to the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. So they're maybe looking to clean house a little bit from what I'm seeing. So if that's the case, then yeah, they might be looking to go into a different direction overall, and we're gonna see how that's gonna play out. Um, and so it's gonna be a kind of wait and see game to see what's gonna go on with them. So we don't know what could be the case with that. But yeah, I just got so much um, questions heading forth to the next season and see how rosters shake up and matchups play out, and not only that, where other roster moves is going to be made, free agency moves going to be made. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen next. So don't be alarmed if we're gonna get more moves and more trades going on. So but hopefully we'll see what will head what heads further. Um, and in other related news, I wanted to kind of talk about and briefly touch on. I didn't seen is hold on. Let me look at this. Um, I just seen this. I don't know. Oh, here we go. So no, that's not it. That's not what I wanted to talk about. Um, I just seen some news and I just kind of. Oh, here we go. So yeah, I wanted to talk about Reacher again. So Reacher News Villains is giving me a major deja vu after season three's big twist. So for those of you who have not seen Reacher, if you have not seen it, I would suggest go and check it out. It's really really good. I talked about this in another live stream of mine where I recap episodes 1 through 3. I don't know if I talked about 4 or not. Maybe I briefly mentioned it, but here I'm gonna talk about episode 5 and a little bit of a twist. If you have not seen it, please don't watch this video. Watch this. Go into another page or just check it out or check out the show. So this will be containing spoilers for anybody. After watching the big villain twist and Reacher season 3, episode 5, I cannot help but to feel a strong sense of deja vu based on Lee Child's Persuader. Reacher season 3 is effectively immersing viewers in Jack Reacher's undercover operation, keeping them clueless about the nature of villains and legal business as the titular character. Many identical initial details about Zachary Beck's connection with Xavier Quinn seemingly hint that the two antagonists are involved in a drug trade. Reacher and DEA agents he works with are also suspect that the same, but the struggle to find many solid leads to bury their doubts. In an early Reacher season 3 episode, the Alan Rickerson character even takes one of Beck's rogue truck transporting trucks to DEA agents, hoping to find drugs in the rugs. However, that this surprises all canine sniffs all over the truck, but discovers nothing. But by introducing a major story twist, Reacher season 3 episode 5 finally confirms that the show's villains are illegal arms dealers, which makes them seem to be a little too familiar. And Reacher season 3's villains being arms dealers makes the story very too familiar to season 2. And Reacher and his team stop international arms deal in season 3. And it's a twist in season 3, episode 5 reveals that Jack Reacher, an ATF agent disguised as a maid, undercover in Zachary Beck's home. The involvement of barrel of alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives confirms that Zachary Beck and Quinn's business had nothing to do with the drugs involved, the trade of arms. The villains began arms dealers in Reacher season 3 that makes the two little similar in season 2's protagonist Langston and AM. We're also involved in a weapons deal. Because I really kind of had these questions about Zachary Beck and Quinn. I was just like, because they seem too point paint by the numbers and too on the nose. I was just wondering, like, how in the world are they so inaccurately knowing about these arms dealers, these drug trades, how they know about just like all the explosives and firearms, how much the firearms that they got, the explosives and what they look like, all these things. I was wondering so much about how they know so quickly, right? If both of them were really, really hot or really, really involved and really, really behind the scenes. And of course, um, Jack Reacher kind of is making the mistake by going back and forth and killing the cop in the previous episode, and kind of is doing other things as well. Not only by reading this, but watching the show, kind of was taking rigging of trucks and everything, transporting trucks um, to DGA agents, and of course when he hopes to find drugs in there, but they didn't. And when I saw the episode, and I saw they didn't find anything when they was rigging up when they was transporting the trucks, and they didn't find anything when they was both searching and seeing for it, and didn't find anything. That was just like, wow. I mean, you can just tell that there was something like that was just really really fishy. So um yeah, man, but that's the story I kind of wanted to run by real quick about episode 5. Really, really solid episode. Really, really solid show. Have not seen Reacher. I was just checking it out. But yeah, if anybody wants to chat, come into the chat room and say anything. And if not, I'm gonna probably um shut this live stream, shut this live stream down, man. So if anybody doesn't want to say anything else or let me know what you guys think, yeah, I am out of here. Peace out, and thank you for watching.